Good evening, and welcome to Truly Strange. Note that I am not a native English speaker, and ironically this is the second story where being multilingual has somehow helped me. I recently drove from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to Buffalo, New York with my cat. The ride was long, but we were making decent time for the most part. She and I had gotten up toward right before you get into New York. It was around 5:30 p.m., but that also meant it was around pitch black out too. We'd only stopped once to get something at McDonald's, and I drank their iced tea quickly to try to stay awake. I definitely had to pee. I didn't want to leave my cat in the car, so I put her leash on and we walked into the gas station. I said, "Do you mind if we use the restroom here?" The man behind the counter said sure, and she and I entered into the bathroom. She sat on the counter while I did my thing. The store wasn't empty. There were some dudes around browsing for honey buns, tasty cake, and cheaper cigarettes than those in New York. There was a woman talking to counter guy up front. She was probably like a regular based on their seemingly familiarity with each other. My cat jumped about a foot when we heard the doorknob rattle. I laughed and said, "Sorry, it's occupied right now." My cat is a trained animal. She's trained to handle people, stimulating situations, crowds, and relatively loud noise. She hates cars, though. I looked over at her after the jump, and her tail was as full as could be, and she got low and slipped up to her favorite position on my shoulders. She dug into my hair with her nails and did her little grumble at me that she does when she wants to be let outside. The doorknob rattled again, and she reached out towards the door like in a quick way, like a strike. "It's still occupied," I called out, but I wasn't laughing this time. We then heard someone speak. It was a man's voice, and honestly, it kind of made my blood run cold. They were speaking a cousin of my native language. English is obviously not my first. They were saying, "Should I grab her when she comes out?" And in my native tongue, grab doesn't really have the multiple connotations like it does in English. Let me grab them before they go. I have to ask them something. Grab a bite to eat, grabbed by the hair, etc., etc. They used what was similar to take, as far as I could tell through the door. And then I heard, "No, the cashier's right there. We can go stand outside. I think our car's the blue one." My cat did her angry grumble bug sound, and I tried to pet her to reassure her. There weren't any windows in this bathroom, and my car was parked unwisely around the side of the lot. I parked it a little away from the lights because I had a lot of stuff in it and didn't want them to be lit up. It was not the blue one. We heard their footsteps retreat, and we sat there for what felt like a long time. We both jumped when we heard a knock on the door. "Come out quickly, and my girlfriend will lead you through the back door to your car. They're standing there by the pumps." It was the counter guy, and who I thought was the regular. I opened the door, and she ushered me to the back. Not smart, but I didn't know what else to do. She opened the door, and I could see my car about 20 feet away. I wanted to sprint, but I remembered I used my key thing to set the alarm. I unlocked the car with my keys, and the alarm went off. I have deep cuts from my cat from this. I threw myself into the driver's seat after I unlocked it with the key thing and quickly pressed the button to lock it again. I felt my heart in my throat as I threw the car into reverse and got the fuck out of there. On my way out, I noticed the guy standing near the blue car on the other side of the lot, trying nonchalantly to smoke. They didn't even know that I got out. Weird persons? Let's not meet.